My dearest friends, as you will soon see, my work is embarking on an entirely new direction. I hope you still have an interest. Yesterday, I was standing in front of the synagogue that I study at, the rabbi who I study with. And a man walked by and said hello to the rabbi, and he was walking with a dog. Now, you know, Judaism in general and Islam in particular doesn't go for dogs as pets. And one of the reasons why it doesn't go for dogs is that dogs occupy a lot of time, you know. They occupy a lot of time and energy that could be used for, you know, what we'll call better purposes. You know, study, mitzvahs for people, utilization of time, which, as you know, is not only the most important thing, it's the only thing. It's the only commodity. So this man walked by with his dog, and he says to the rabbi, I'll be coming up and seeing you. And I said to the man, you know that dog has the same gematria as Yerushalayim. So, number one, I don't think he knew, and the rabbi said, oh. And I said, not only that, it has the same gematria as Yesod. When you fully spell out Kelev, it has the same gematria as you fully spell out Yesod, and just regularly with Yerushalayim. I didn't say that, but... And so then a couple pleasantries, and then he walked on. That evening, actually it was Rosh Chodesh Shavat, which is today, and I'm doing it early in the morning here, this little video. And so last night on the news, I was listening to the 6:30 news on Channel 4, and there was a piece that 51% of all people who have dogs postpone their interactions. Sometimes they call off their interactions with friends to spend time with their dogs. So they call off social engagements with their friends to spend time with the dogs. You can Google this aspect. It's obviously in the news. So 51% of people rather spend time with their dogs. They frolic around or whatever they do. That reminded me of earlier yesterday. at 7 o'clock in the morning when I play tennis against the wall. It's very cold here. And nobody was in this large park that I play against the wall at. It's a large yard. And some woman comes in with a dog into the yard. I'd forgotten about this now until this morning. But it sets the stage for the comment to the dog that came by with the rabbi, and to the stage of listening to the news last night. Woman came by with a dog. She's a dog trainer. And so I said, you know, there are no dogs in this park. It's one of the rules. It's on the sign there. She says, oh, I don't let it off the leash. I said, it has nothing to do with letting it off the leash. I said, I know the people who clean this park, who aren't around for the winter because of a whole other story. They come in to clean it separately, but the permanent people aren't there. And if the dog goes in the park, who's going to clean it? And there's also children that come here. She says, oh, it's okay. My dog doesn't go. So I let her do her, train the dog, this and that. And when she was leaving, I was just getting a sip of water from my bottle. And I said, I don't know if she said to me, shouldn't be so harsh. I said, oh, would you like a ball for your dog? Anyway, this and that, there was some interaction. She complimented my tennis, and it goes on. Later that day with the dog, and it goes on. The dog at the synagogue. Then that night, with the news. This is the setup and the backstory. And then it turns into Rosh Chodesh, Shabbat. And it's the new Rosh Chodesh, Shabbat, for Beth Shammai, is the new year for trees, or for the tree. For the tree. It's not trees, it's for the tree. And the new year for the tree is for the tree of life. And the letter of the month of Shevet is it Shevet, Shabbat? Is the letter Zadok. And the letter Zadok has to do with the tree of life. Of course, the Zadok is the tree of life. Also on the first of Shevet, in the book of Deuteronomy, the Shavat. In the book of Deuteronomy, Moses starts his review of the Torah, which is 37 days before he dies. And that starts on the first of this month. And 37 is the gematria of Yehida. And this review is of the Torah is at that Yehida level, at the 37. And it's also the gematria of Hevel. And this is just the start, so I don't expect you people to listen to this. To tell you the truth, I don't. Because this is part of my new unfolding. It's a totality of that everything comes from a hologram. And that you only have to start with one thing and everything unfolds from it. We're going to start from the dog and how everything unfolds from the dog. And this dog is Kelev, that in Hebrew. Kelev. It's Kaf, Lamed, Vav. Excuse me. Kaf, Lamed, Bet is Kelev. And so the simple gematria of Kelev is 52, which is Ben, it's the son. Okay? And the full gematria of Kelev is Kaf, it's 100. Lamed is 74, it's 174. Okay? And Bet, which was 412. So that's 586. Okay? So it's 174, and 412 is 576. 586. 586, and that's the name of this video. Why is it the name of the video? Because number is higher than letter. Everything comes together in number. Number comes from Chokhmah. Letter comes from Bina. Words are an expression of number. No, in the same sense that song, the words in song are an expression of the vibration of number, of the tune. And that the tune can be filled in by many different words. Chokhmah is number, Bina is words. This was the one question that I asked Aryeh Kaplan when I was about 33 years old. I went out to study there in Brooklyn. He was a wonderful man. And I got there early and we're talking, and he said, he never met a tennis player before. And I'm standing there, I'm only 33 at this time. And maybe 34. No, 33 it was. And it's about 37 years ago. Anyway, so I asked him, Rabbi, what's higher, number or letter? And he looks at me for a few seconds, and he said, number. And so this is the expression of it many years later. Because number is the root expression which comes down into letters, terms, concepts. But it comes from a root of numbers. And so the whole idea of the number 586, which is Kelev, fully spelt out. But it's also the gematria of Yerushalayim in its simple gematria. If you spell out Yerushalayim, it's 586. Yud, Resh, Vav, Shin, Lamed, Mem, 586. So there's a correspondence between the full potential of the Kelev, 586, and Yerushalayim in its simple sense. Another interesting gematria of 586 is HaKotel in its full sense. HaKotel, the holiest aspect of the wall, of the Beis HaMikdash. The same gematria as Kelev. Same gematria as Yerushalayim. HaKotel spelt out is 586. Another gematria of 586 is Yesod. The Sephira of Yesod, the sixth Sephira. Yesod, fully spelt out. Yud, 20, Samach, 120, Vav, 12, Dalet, 434. It's 586. Full potential of Yesod is the full potential of Kelev, is the full potential of HaKotel, is Yerushalayim. And then the one that everybody knows for 586 is Shofar, which is the whole root of everything here. Shofar is 586. 586, Shin, Vav, that's 306. Pei, that's 386. Resh, 200, 586. 386, 200, 586. Shofar is Yesod, is HaKotel, is Yerushalayim, is full potential of Kelev that I was exposed to before all this happened. Kelev, which looks to be the dirty animal, is expressed in these highest terms. On Rosh Hashanah, we, add the 14 pereks of a hand into the shofar. We get 600, which are the two expressions of dinim. The 300, when we add the 14 to the 306, the first part of shofar, we get 320. Those are the hard dinim. That's the first day of Rosh Hashanah. And then the second day is the soft dinim of 280. in a certain sense, can be considered the first of Shevet, which is today, and the 15th of Tu B'Shvat. Shavat. Say the two levels. Then when you add those 14 into the 586, the yad, you get 600, which is a whole different ballgame. Because 600 is a final mem. So this is how one can extend this 586 because its root is in 600. The final mem is like 4 walls, but we only have 1 wall in the kotel. 4 walls like a closed city. So the number 586 was unfolded to me previously, and if it wasn't those dogs that came past my path yesterday, kind of like, uncalled for past my path while I'm playing tennis and then in my studies, 2 dogs came by to unfold this level of getting into numbers. And I'll be expressing for a while in some videos numbers now, because I start the year, this is Shavat. First of Shavat for me is the new year of the tree. What tree is that? That's the tree of life for me. And that's the center pillar. The center pillar of the tree of life, the Etz Chaim. And the center pillar has 5 different spots there, if you include Da'as. And for these purposes, I'm including Da'as. Otherwise, the tree of life with 10 spots doesn't have Da'as. So the first of this tree of life is Keta. Then Da'as, which is kind of the neck. The neck is between the 3 and the 7. See? Then Tiferet, which is kind of like the heart. Then Yesod, which is the genital area. And then Malchus, which is either like the anal area, the feet, the ground, where you stand, where you sit right now. So what I've done is I've taken the first letters of these as the source of the Kedusha, which is always in the first letter, and taken its first letter and its gematria of that first letter. So the Keter is 20, and the Das is, Keter is Kaf, which is 20. Das is Dalet, which is 4. Tiferet is Tov, which is 400. Yesod is Yud, which is 10. And Malchus is Mem, which is 40. So it's Kaf 20, Dalet 24, Tov 424, Yud 434, and Mem 474. And it just so happens that that center pillar like that, those 5 of the Center pillar, which is obviously the tree of life, because the two sides of it could be the sides of man as the two sides of good and evil. The gematria of that, 474, is also the gematria of Da'as. And the Da'as is the real symbol of the Zadok, which is he's the letter of this month of Shavat. And so also he's considered an Etz Shaddai, a tree of the field. And it just so happens that Etz HaShaddai is gematria 474. So this tree of the field, because I think I'm a tree. Tree is in the field. And that's the same gematria as Da'as, and the same gematria as the center pillar. See? So all these numbers are coming together here. And the first of the month is this Rosh Chodesh. It's the start of things, and especially this month. And so that's where this is unfolding. Now, all these things come together. They unfold appropriately for the one they unfold for, and that's me. So the point is, whatever happened yesterday, things unfold. These are the things that unfolded for me. And one of the points of this video is what's unfolding for you. I told you my story. I'm going to call these my histoire. My histoire, my story. But you have your story. You have your spark of Moshe. And your Torah is going to be reviewed starting today for 37 days. And what's reviewed? It's the unfolding of what's happened in the present. And this is what's unfolded for me. Yesterday with these dogs. And it just so happens today, I'm going to start taking care of a dog in the building here for 5 days of somebody who's going away. Weird. On the 1st of Shavat. On the new year for trees. For the tree. For the Zadok, for the tree of life. For the unfolding of the histoire. And part of this is everything is faded from the beginning of time. And this story is the story of the dog, but on a deeper level, it's the story of 586. The gematria of the full dog. And Ben, the son, 52, the simple gematria. Because I'm the son of the person that's unfolding this story to you. As a son, as a 52, as a what we'll call double entendre, because that's 2 times the name Yud-K, Vav-K. And everything is repeated in 2. Even the Tu Bishvat and first Bishvat, there's even 2 dates for the new year for the tree. Amazing that there's 2 dates. There's such a machlokas, such a debate here. They can't even figure out what the new year of the tree means. Does it mean when the fruit stops, or does it mean when the fruit when the sap starts to come down? Oh, what does it mean about the rain or this? And that you can find out for yourself. And I'm going to continue my study, and that's what you're supposed to do with Torah. Every year you study the appropriate date at the date that it's on. So for these days, from the 1st to the 15th, one should be studying the differentials between the first day of the month and the 15th, the day when there's no moon, new moon, when there's sliver moon, and the 15th when there's full moon. And what does this have to do in relation to the holiday itself? And this is up to you, not me to tell you. You know, with these computers, it's like having the Library of Congress, at your fingertips. You can go study. There was once a time, 40 years ago, I had to go down to Washington to get a book out of the Library of Congress that was in no other library. Now you just Google it. So that's how things have changed. 586. It's going to be the code, the number